Hi everyone, welcome to Cindy's Sacred Garden. I'm Cindy. Welcome. Thanks for coming back. If you know this channel, I am going to reveal a container vertical garden made by GreenStalk and made in Tennessee. It's in this box. And basically I started opening it, looking at it, and I'm the kind of person who doesn't read instructions. And then while I was putting it together, said to myself, well, this isn't good. We're gonna have some bad weather this weekend with high winds. So maybe it wasn't a good time to put it together. I do believe the weight of it would have been fine for this weekend, but here I am. And there's a couple things that I wanna share with you from GreenStalk, some tips and tricks of growing in vertical containers. But basically I'm starting down here and then I'm gonna work my way up to my porch where it's gonna be, because I bought a spinner so that I can just spin it around as the sun is coming down. It has a drain pipe. I already put the wheels on, caster wheels. And this is pretty much the last part, and I started with this one. Makes sense. So I'm gonna put this here. But basically, really what I wanted to do was talk about vertical container gardening. I bought this in November and couldn't wait, knowing I was moving, knowing the place I was coming into, had a big open porch. I crossed my fingers because I'm in a wooded area. Would I get enough light? Well, it's after 2 on Sunday and I'm where the porch is, and look, I'm in the sun. So perfect, because I want to have this on my porch where when I'm grilling, I can grab something right off of it, throw it on the grill, or at night when I have my herbal tea, maybe just go ahead and grab some fresh, like some anise or a little container of lemon balm or chamomile. But I got from GreenStalk the 5-tier original and razzleberry, and I love the color. And all right, so that's the top. This is the watering system. So I'm gonna set that there. I've got some really cool things that I got extra with it for buying it for Black Friday. I'll show this to you after I have this set up, because you don't set it up until you start putting soil into each of the separates. Each one's a watering middle container that the water comes down like this. And yes, it's windy out. I hope everyone fared okay with the storm. So the 5-tier original is a size, and so I have to put soil in these first and then build each layer up, and I'll show you that after I fill these and put them on my porch and then build them up. And I have someone coming because they're gonna be probably about 25 pounds. So you'll need help because it's gonna be about this tall. I'm thinking maybe this tall, somewhere around in here, because it's the original one with deep pockets. So you can grow big food like tomatoes, carrots, potatoes, squash. You name it, you can grow it in these. But there's a trick to vertical growing in a container. It's not the same. It will be the same this year as it has been last year with any container gardening. So it's just a simple trick, and I'm gonna talk to you about that. I'm gonna get this all out, the 5 tiers. Isn't this beautiful? My. I'm gonna talk to you about soil that you're gonna use in these raised containers. Oh yeah, she's gonna be tall. She's gonna be beautiful on the porch. So I'm gonna just set these right here. And if anything, this is part 1. This is gonna be beautiful. I cannot wait. This is great for people with small gardening spaces. You may have a deck, balcony. You may be challenged to getting down into a bed where this you actually grow all upwards. So you definitely want a sunny spot. Full sun, really honestly, is about 6 hours. When you start getting 6 to 8 hours, if you're in a warm zone, even like me, 7A, and go 8, 9, and that afternoon sun can burn your plants, even your tomatoes. So give that some thought. What zone are you in? So if you're in zone 3 or 4, you want as many hours of full sun as you can get. But I want to talk to you about bag soil. So since COVID, I've been buying the same Happy Frog, and I'll show you when I pick it up over here, way before COVID, and I can tell it's still one of the best bagged soil around. It's expensive. It's like $20 for one of these bags, but it's not as good as what it used to be. So then if you're on a tight budget, or you're just starting out and don't want to put so much money into bag soil because it adds up, especially when you have 5 tiers and you're going to put about a cubic foot in each one of these, then you need to be creative. So I'm going to go through a couple ways to do that. The soil that you are buying in bags is usually unhealthy. Okay. Key number 1. So you have to amend it. If you're not making your own or you're not buying organic. Key number 2, which is really, really important, is you're going to need to feed the soil. Any plants in containers, even if you don't go this way and you just get a regular size container and you grow in it, even something like this. This is my lady's mental. She's going in the ground. But a container like this, you need to feed it, because if any nutrients that is in the bag soil is gone, depleted within 3 months. From the rain, the roots are drinking up all those nutrients. So it's really important that you have a pellet fertilizer. I get big bags of the organic plant tone, and that's low releasing. So like I would mix it in with the soil, and then for 2 months or so add like fish fertilizer, worm casting fertilizer that you feed every month. So container gardening is a little different than gardening, raised bed. You still have to use nutrients, but in this case you need to be on top of it, like writing it on a calendar so you remember. That will help your food thrive. Now, what do you do if you're like me? I have my own soil that had my own compost in it, that grew food or plants in it for a while, a year, 2, you just amend it. So I'm going to show you that way, since that's how I'm going to do this, since it's going to take a lot of soil. 2 great ways of doing it. I filled this big container here with my own soil that I brought from my other place. This is a mix of 1 to 2 years old that had medicinal plants in it and basil. It's still going to need nutrients, and this is how I'm going to do it. I could just use the soil and add in the plant tone and some liquid fertilizer. But to really bump it up, because over time soil loses its nutrients, it's just a common fact, is to mix this this, what's in here, with egg soil. So this is my normal choice, is Happy Frog, but I've been keeping my eye on something else, and it was like $2 cheaper. And this is Fox Farm, and it's potting soil. So you definitely want to use a container of potting soil. This soil here is for both, whether you do potting or garden. I am interested in this one. So this one is called Fox Farm, and it has like kelp and seaweed, guano, back guano, which is poop. Has some other things in it. So let me tell you what else is in it. Earthworm casting. So this is really rich and really lovely. I'm gonna cut this up, get this in here, and mix it in. Now I'm gonna have to use a shovel, because if you have a baby pool, this would be easier with a baby pool to do this. But I'm gonna mix this in. I'm gonna put you on some time lapse. Next, you want to check to make sure that your soil is kind of moist, not super wet, and it kind of holds together. That's important. Now, the soil that was in here from last night was wet, so I'm working with that. I'll probably add a little bit more. The soil seemed a little dry. Check for big chunks like this. That's wood chips. You don't want that in there. It's not decomposed, and if you plant a seed there or that covers the seed can't grow. So basically, you're gonna take one of these, and let me bring you on down. Take your first one, so it's all gonna be put in like this. And you probably can use a shovel. I'm such a hand girl, but I may need to. And you'll see that this is going to be some deep pockets in here in a minute. And you want to fill them, I do believe, about 3/4 of the way. Let's see if they tell you. Oh, nope, fill to the top. Why? I never follow instructions. The first time, I got a funny on that one. The first time I made stovetop stuffing, I did not follow the directions. I put it all in a pan together at once. Good thing it turned out, but that was not the instructions. Boil the water with the seasoning pack, then add your bread crumb mix, fluff and take off the heat or something like that. And I'll never forget that, because I was like, why didn't I just read the box? All right, so I'm gonna lightly tap down my soil just a bit. I'm looking from my old soil. That could be a horseradish root. I definitely don't want that in here. And I'm actually gonna water it when I get it up on the porch. This is pretty heavy, and I got 5 of these. So basically, I'll just show you what the concept. I'm not gonna carry it up already done. There's little holes so that when the water comes down from the top, when you're watering it or it rains, it goes through each one of these and waters into each one. So when you set this up, you want to make sure your whole face is right into the cavity. This would be the cavity. So I want to show you how this is going to look. And then there's a way to set it up. And that's what I don't know. And they have little legs on the bottom, but then you keep building up. So these legs fit on the opposite, right here and right here. And then that's the way that you get your great looking vertical tier all the way up. So I'm going to keep filling these up and get them up on the porch, and then I'm going to take you up there and show you how to build. Well, thankfully my help arrived. It would have taken me quite some time, so you want to definitely have adequate time set aside to fill each of your trays that fit in here. They fit a specific way with there's little divots or like little legs that fit in between, and you can see on the spinner I can do that. This is the top watering. Look at the color. Isn't this amazing? I need to put water in here. And then for those who are interested in cooler climates, I'm gonna start seeds in here. I'm gonna save these. I've got some plants in the greenhouse that haven't gotten their true sets of leaves yet. Calendula, because I'll have this out here. But I have some seeds that I'm gonna put in. But I also got these. So since this is the original and not the leaf, these do work on the original. They just don't fit as nice. And I'm gonna water to make sure before I put seeds in. But I wanted to show you how this works. Go like this. So I have enough. I think we said I have 30 cavities. There's 5 and 6 each. So that's 30 plants. Think about that. Strawberries. I mean, whatever I want up here in a securing way that right outside my door, I can watch it, be really involved with this. It's so easy. If your gardens are far away or anything like this would be far away, you tend not to really pay attention after a couple weeks. The novelty kind of wears off. Out here, and I can check. I'll be adding seeds and adding those. So rain can still get in here, but it's protected from massive amounts of rain. With the original, the leaf, it fits really tight, more like a greenhouse dome. And what I wanted to tell you, and I might have mentioned it, so it came with this lovely thing. So the original, I'm going to be putting in, they sent some cherry radishes. Those are going in. And I'm gonna, in the garden, I'm gonna let some go to seed because the seed pods are amazing. My friend gave this to me before she left out of town. Tokyo Bacana, which is Chinese cabbage. So I've got quite a few seeds that are gonna go in here. The original holds bigger plants like cabbage, cauliflower, coleus, dwarf corn, cucumber, I can't say it, eggplant, leek, mum, peppers, potatoes, squash, sweet potatoes, tomatoes, watermelon, zucchini, and then the leaf is smaller. They'd be smaller, but you can put in here all of your leafy greens, bush beans, peas, carrot, spinach, radish, lettuce. So I'm going to deeply water, and I'm going to start putting seeds in, and I'll update as they start coming up. But okay, so I'm 5'3", so it isn't taller than me, thank goodness. So this is like 5 feet. And like I said, get the spinner, make it worth your while, make it easy on you. You don't have to drag it around. If the sun isn't hitting where you want it to, you just spin it. Get a pretty color. Buy whatever color you want. I need color in my life. So here it is, the GreenStalk 5 original tier vertical container gardening, made here in the U.S. I'm growing here in the U.S. I love supporting U.S. made companies, and I look forward to sharing updates. All right, everyone, stay tuned.